Hello everybody! Hope you're having a good day. It's Friday for me, so I'm having a pretty good day. Welcome to week 2 of our arm balance and inversion strengthening challenge. So we're gonna get a little bit more recovery with this week. There's definitely gonna be a lot of strength challenges, but at the end, what you can look forward to are a few wrist and forearm therapy exercises. So I'll just dangle that there for you so that you can get through this whole thing. I'll try to keep it somewhat short, but I hope you enjoy. Okay, so for this class, you don't need these blocks. I just have them here, but you do need some socks or stocking, or if you have like sliding plates, that would work. So we're going to be utilizing our mat, and then we're going to go off the mat as well, hopefully. I have carpet, as you can see, which is not ideal for arm balancing and inversions. It just makes it a little trickier of a surface, a little more stressful on the joints. So if you have tile or hardwood or something that you could use, that would be better. But if you don't, you're here with me, so it's okay. Okay, so to start off, we're gonna do a little bit of warm up for the forearms and the hands and wrists. So I just want you to open your fingers up really wide and back together. So quick flicks of the hands. Fists, and then flick the fingers out. And try to do it like as fast as you can with a decent amount of power. But once you start to feel yourself fatiguing, whether you feel it in the fingers or forearms or something, it's okay to slow down and keep the integrity of the movement. So keep going, and you can always distract yourself by like casting spells on things around you, moving your arms. Can you give me a couple more quick ones? Whoo! Okay. You don't really get to use those very much in yoga, so that's kind of hard. All right, so next, wrist circles. Just alternate the direction. Pretend like you're petting a cat. They really only like it when you do it one direction though, so maybe not a cat. Reach your arms up. This also gets a little bit of neural mobility. Wave the fingers around with it. And I don't know about you, but I can already feel my forearms kind of burning. Whew. Whenever you lose the breath, right, you know it's time to stop. So let that be your indicator of when you need a little break. Okay. Let's flip around to hands and knees and come up onto the fingertips and imagine that they're suction cups. So the whole hand even is a suction cup. A big old suction cup on the right and a big old suction cup on the left. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze so you feel like the fingers want to draw together, and then they make a cupping shape in the center of the palm. So you can also imagine you're like placing your hand over like saran wrap on a glass. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep some of that feeling, but I want you to spread your fingers out and set your palms down. But then re-engage through the fingertips and keep feeling that squeeze. Don't forget about your thumb and the base of your thumb too. And then go back to just a normal all fours. So that should feel a little more lazy in a normal all fours. But when you have this suction cupping action, like you have stickies, like you're a tree frog or something, then when you push against the mat, what happens is there's a tiny little bubble that happens underneath your palm. And that helps you keep the integrity of the wrist and keep some strengthening happening. So we're going to do that again. Squeeze up on tripod fingertips, and then slowly walk the fingers out. They don't have to be spread as wide as possible. Just spread apart from each other and squeeze, grip the floor. and relax, and feel how much more compressive it feels in the wrists when you relax. Now squeeze and relax. We're working our way up to being on the hands, though I don't know we're going to do that much with that today, other than some work in chaturanga, but it's always good to warm up for that too. I hope you've done that a couple of times. And then now what I want you to do is lean forward and back and just rock on the edges of the hands and feel all of the different areas you can place your weight on. It's just like with the feet when we balance in tree pose and all the typical balancing postures. We're trying to balance though on our hands. So we have to think about the fingers as little toes and think about how much the toes move and how much that's okay, but we can recorrect. So we're just getting acquainted with weight shifts that are necessary to correct our balance and to actually balance. All right, once you've done that, sit back. If you want a toe stretch, go for it. That's just extra. Now, pull the fingers, just 4 fingers, back towards your body. If you wanna keep it less intense, hold it by your side like a little dinosaur T-Rex arm. And if you want to make it a little more intense for the forearm, start to straighten, but go slowly so you don't miss the point where you feel the most desirable sensation. And bring that back and just switch. I just wanted us to get off of the wrists for a second before we get on them again. I hope you all have been keeping up with the challenge from last week. If not, then you're gonna have to go back and do last week at least 3 times and then continue on with this week and do this one 3 times. Okay. Come back to hands and knees. And, I lied. If you do have blocks, 2 blocks, grab them. If you don't, that's okay. You can use what I always tell you to use, which are like a stack of books or something that is relatively this height that's kind of stable. But if you don't have that, that's fine. We can still do the work. So when you get those, if you have them, put one so it would, when you lower down, it would be under your chest, and then one would be under your head, roughly. So bend your elbows a little bit and get a good idea. Is that going to kind of support you? You can even put this top one up a little higher, whatever you've got. And then I would recommend starting in all 4s, but if you do planks and plank push-ups all the time, you could go there as well. Put the hands at the level of the lower block or prop that you have, or simply prepare for a kneeling plank. And then bend the elbows, lower down until you touch. And you can relax for a second if you have props. That's the advantage here. If you don't get to relax. Relax the upper traps though, wherever you are, and squeeze elbows towards the sides. Squeeze the lower belly, squeeze inner thighs. And lift off and just hold, hover, so you're barely touching your props. There's much less weight on them. Hold, 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 hold. Squeeze it, you can do it. You can do it, it's okay. And then push up. Take it back with child's pose. So you can see why you might want to do that on hands and knees. That's probably where I would always do it. We're going to do that about 2 more times. Okay, so rock forward, get your suction cup fingers, apply it to this exercise, and squeeze your belly. Lower down as a unit till you feel where you're supposed to go. So this should measure you about half the distance towards the floor. Keep the shoulder heads rolling back. Suction cup fingers, lift off, hold, 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 hold. This exercise takes like a minute or 2, and you should do it quite often so it can create a big change. I'm sure you can feel it working. Twiddle your fingers. And then one last time, show me what you've got. Come down, keep your form, roll the shoulder heads down and back, squeeze the shoulder blades down and back. And then as you push the ground away, levitate or just hold halfway down in your plank position. Breathe. Push out. Take it back. Okay, give the hands a rest, wiggle the fingers. And then you can move the props out of the way. I promise we do not need them anymore. Okay. So, you all remember your little scapular push-ups, your shoulder blade push-ups from last time? We're going to check in with that real quick on your forearms from hands and knees or dolphin. Sink down towards the floor, chest towards the floor, create a valley between the shoulder blades, squeeze the belly, push the ground away, broaden the space between the shoulder blades. Remember, you want your elbows to be shoulder distance apart or even a little more narrow. Do that a couple more times, and what you're going to feel when your body isn't quite used to it yet is a little shaking. And it's not necessarily that you're fatigued, it's just that your body is confused about this new movement. And you'll see gains in this in a few weeks. It happens much faster than strength. Okay. Pop up to your dolphin. If you can't do dolphin, then you're just going to shift your weight and do those scapular push-ups. Shift your weight forward, scapular push-ups, push your weight back, push-ups. Okay? But if you're able to, come to dolphin, curl your toes under, push the ground away. Equal weight between each forearm, each elbow. And squeeze the low belly in, tilt your tailbone high. Squeeze in the front ribs like they're core sitting together. Don't puff out that space. Okay, this is probably enough just to check in. Let's come back down. Deep breaths. Envision yourself successfully getting up into a forearm stand, a headstand, whatever that dream pose is for you. If you can, come back up, downward dog. Walk the feet forward as far as you can go. It'll help if you've done some hamstring stretching. And then what I want you to do here is push the ground away, keep pushing the ground away, and just push off the tips of the toes. Come all the way to the tip of the big toe and maybe the second toe and back. The back of your head might hit the inside of your fist, but there's no weight of the head on the ground. Your hair might touch the ground. Come back down. Take a break. Whoo, shake off the arms. So all these postures are very invigorating, as you can tell, and they might bring up a little bit of anger and frustration. And that's the cool thing about them, really, is that they can, in such a short amount of time, work through those body blocks, work through emotional blocks in the body, and then we can release them. So they're very effective. So take a deep inhale. Exhale out your mouth. Stick out your tongue. That's a tool you can use to get out that frustration. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time. Dolphin. Walk the feet in. You may tap the back of your head to your hands already. And then push off the tips of the toes. Lift the tailbone high. Push the ground away. Push off the toes. Roll off the toes. Push the ground away. Push the ground away. Think elbows down into the ground. Just like you think heels into the ground with a squat. Think elbows. Okay, one more roll. Roll. Squeeze the belly. Push. And back down. Child's pose, whatever pose helps you here. One more challenge before we get into the forearm and hand recovery department. So grab your socks or your sliding plates, plastic plates, paper plates, whatever you've got. And then move your mat out of the way, or just step off if you have more space. Okay. Come back down. If you're gonna do this from all fours, then you're just gonna rock forward to a kneeling forearm plank and back. Forward and back. And you can advance that by trying to lift some of the weight off of the lower body, or by acting like the knees and the elbows want to come together. So everybody try that version. Push the ground away while you try to pull those knees towards the elbows. And in this case, we're not really pulling them towards each other. All right, and once you have fatigued, take a few deep breaths, a few lion's breaths maybe. Stay with that last option or pop up to your dolphin. But I want you to flip over to the tops of the toes if you can. Okay, this is the position or end point. Now drop the knees. Get enough space so you can come back to the tops of the toes to a forearm plank. And this is essentially mimicking what we do when we move from up dog to down dog. So you can do that as well. But if you're coming with me, forearms, tops of toes. Now pike the hips, push the ground away. Slide the feet back. Pike the hips, slide it back. Keep doing that 1 or 2 or 3 more times. If that is too much, come with me to a upward dog or cobra. Lift the knees, lift the hips, tops of the feet on the ground. Squeeze the low belly, push the ground away. Hike the hips, maybe flip over to regular down dog. And do that again. Cobra or upward dog, squeeze the low belly. Hike the hips, push the ground away. That's a power move. One more time if you can, or take a few breaths and then do it. All right. Good job, good job, good job. Now we get to the therapy portion. This is gonna be a little awkward, but it feels really good. So, place your forearm down across the mat. Now, less awkward version, use the heel of the left hand. So I've got my right arm down, left heel of hand, and push that and rock it over the forearm muscles, and you'll see the fingertips curling up as it tightens the tendons. But if you can, put the left hand way forward to the corner of the mat, and then bring the left knee onto the forearm. You can just put pressure, play with the pressure. Keep breathing. Or you can rock and dig and roll that kneecap around. Get up high near the elbow, but not in the pit of the elbow. And then switch to the other side. Pick your version here, heel of hand, or even fist. Ooh, fist could be good. Or right knee up to meet the forearm. Use your right hand as a kickstand. And wiggle the kneecap on the forearm. If you find a juicy spot, you can stay there. And then find another juicy spot. And when you're done, flip around to your bottom. Another good exercise to keep in your repertoire is a finger stretch. So instead of fingers back, you're welcome to do that again, but for time right now, we're gonna do the other way. Palm face up, 4 fingers, pull back. Use your opposite hand, pull those fingers back. Don't worry about the thumb right now. Okay, keep it here by your side, or slowly stretch it out. Again, good for your nerves as well. But that's a video for another day. And then switch, other hand. Tuck the elbow by the side so you don't have to hold your arm up. And then straighten, maybe. Move slowly so you can tell where you want to stop. And then pull the thumb back on that first hand. Slow your breath down and switch to the other hand. Release. Okay, that's it for today. Do this video a few times throughout the week and maybe revisit the other video too, and then I'll come with some more exercises next week. You don't know what day I'll surprise you, so turn on the notifications bell, subscribe to my channel, and like this video if it helped you. And sharing always helps too. But I appreciate you guys. Great job. And now is a great time to practice that forearm stand if that's something you want to do week to week, several times a week. So end your practice with that forearm stand, hopefully using a wall or a spotter, and then take a break, child's pose, something like that. Get your breath back, and I'll see you next time. Bye.